Hello, welcome to ArthaChitra. In this video, I will demonstrate how to build an automated strategy using ArthaChitra and run it in ArthaChitra. So our strategy will be very simple. It will be an opening range breakout strategy. So what we will do is we will calculate the high and the low till 10 a.m. And subsequently, if the price breaches that high or low, then it will enter a long or a short, as the case may be. Now what we also want to do is for 50% of the quantity, we want to place a defined target and a stop, and for the rest we will let it run, and whatever the position might be, we want to close the position at 3 p.m. So we don't want to carry it home basically. Okay, so this is a very simple strategy. Now please do bear in mind, this is not a tested or some advisory. This is just for educational purpose. Do not use this strategy for live trading. Use this only for education purpose only. So we'll just go to new, shop script, and click on new, and we will select the script type as strategy, and we will name it like our breakout. Okay, now this is the default editor. The scripting language is C#. So first let me define the various blocks. So this is the constructor, and this is the on state change method. So the strategy goes through various states like initialize, startup, finalize, So whenever the state changes, this method will be triggered. This is the bar update method. So whenever you have a tick, that is a trade takes place in the exchange, so this on bar method will be updated. Now this is the property. We don't need this property for this purpose. Okay. Now we are all set to go. So since it has a multi entries basically, so we will set the entry handling to unique entries, and that we will set in the initialize when the strategy state is in initialized position. So this handling equal to entries, and entries per direction will be 1. This should equal to 1, and I will also define the quantity as 100. Now 100 means, since we are submitting 2 in a pair, so quantity will be 100 into 2 equal to 200. Okay, now since we are also placing some stop and targets, and we also want the user, if the user will also allow the user to modify it from the charts. So by default, any order submitted via the strategy is not displayed on the chart. However, if you set the property can user modify orders to true, then in the orders are submitted by a strategy will be displayed on the chart. And we also want to set this trace orders to true. So what this will do is any messages emitting from the strategy will be displayed out in the output view. This helps to know why what the strategy is doing. If the order is ignored, so all those things will be displayed out here. And let's see if it compiles or not. Okay, fine. Successfully. Now we will set the stops. Set stop. So we will give a ticks, and this will be entry 1 and set target 40 ticks means basically $2 entry 1. So we will define the orders, entry orders as entry 1 and entry 2. So this is okay, this compiles fine. Now if we go to the chart and click on this here, so this is our strategy, and we will see like entries per direction out here, entry handling out here. You can also modify all those things from here, but we'll set a default basically. Now user parameters period 1, we don't need this. This is the default template basically. So we will set the template type to none basically. So let's go back to our strategy using sharp script base common, and we will public override template type. Okay, now if we compile it,
compiled successfully,
and if we see it from the now, this period is gone basically. Okay, now we're coming to the main logic basically. So bar equal to so what I'm saying is like if is the first session of bar, then we will calculate the high and the low. So we will declare a couple of variables, double high equal to double mean value, double low equal to double max value, and this will be this high equal to high, this low equal to low. And we want to return, do nothing. Okay, we will just calculate it. Now we will calculate the high and low till 10 AM. Okay, so if 2 time now do bear in mind to run this strategy on a minute bar, let's say minute bar or 5 minutes bar or 15 minutes bar or whatever the case may be, but do not run the strategy on a 2-hour charts or 4-hour charts, then it will go haywire. So 2 time this high equal to math max, this high comma high. Okay, here this is a very small piece of code. This will calculate the high and the low till 10 AM. Now what we want to do is like we want to code that if time is like greater than 3 PM, we want to close the position if it's if the position is not flat. Okay, so if 2 time greater than equal to 15:00:00. So if you want to say it like 15:10, so this will be the minute 15:10. Okay, so here we want to at 15 only. So if position, market position not equal to market position flat, then this close position. So this will close any existing position, and we want to return basically. So the entry logic is still not implemented. So entry, okay. So we will that entry logic will be out there. But if it's like the time is after 3 p.m., those entry logic will not be evaluated since we are due to this. Now come to the entry logic basically. So entry logic is very simple. If position, market position not equal to position long, and also close zero greater than this high, then we want to enter long. And we want to define the orders. So this will be the entry 1, and this will be have a defined target and a stop, and enter long entry 2, and this won't have any basically a stop and a target. Else if position, market position not equal to short, and also close zero is less than this low. So low is greater than close, then we want to enter a short. Entry 1, short, entry 2. So that's it. Let us see whether it compiles or not. Okay, we have an error. FIR first of bars. Oh, first bar of session is first bar of session. Now let us compile it.
Compiled successfully.
Now we are good to go. So now let us first backtest it basically. So we go to new strategy performance, click on backtest. So this is the backtest view, and we will backtest in a 5-minute bar. So, and on the instrument, let's TVS motor. Okay, so this is our instrument, and this will be a 5-minute bar. So we want to change the color to, let's say, dark blue. Okay, and we'll select the strategy out here, and the quantity is 100, unique entries, account is backtest. Okay, and we'll click on run. Okay, so these are all the summaries basically. You know, gross profit, this gross loss, winning trade, net profit. Okay, this is the SARP ratio. Now please do remember, so all this summary, if you want to custom code your own custom summary, you can add. So as this is same with the performance also. So for example, total transaction, long trades, short trades is similar. So you can also code all these things basically. ArthaChitra does allows you to to have your custom summaries or performance. So these are the transactions. So these are the transactions taken. So for example, this is the time when the entry took place at 12:30. The orders have been and the order exited, so exit time is 240, and this is a strategy close. For example, this is the target has been reached out here. This is the MA, maximum adverse executions, like all those things, the entry number of bars, which was like live. So these are all the parameters you can get, and these are the orders taken, and these are the trades, and these are the chart basically. So here we can see, scroll back, okay, so here's like an entry, like this is the high and this is the low. So the low got breached out at this bar, so we have an entry out here, and this is the target, and this is the strategy got closed. Again, here's our entry out here, this is the target, and this is the strategy close at 330. Okay, so similarly here as entry and stop out here, and the strategy got close out here. So that looks good. The order are getting triggered in the backtest. So let us go ahead and check how it performs in real time. So let us go ahead and test the newly built strategy. For this purpose, we will connect to the simulated connection. Since the simulated connection, one can change the trend of the price, we can easily and test the strategy in an efficient manner. To connect to the sim, we will just go to connection, simulated connection, and click on simulation.
Connected simulator.
We will also open the output view. All the logs as generated from the strategy will be displayed out here. So let us go ahead and deploy a strategy. We will deploy the strategy from the chart. We can also deploy the strategy from the strategy view. But for this purpose, we will use the chart only. So we will right click, click on strategy. This is our strategy. Please make sure to check the option is enabled, otherwise the orders won't get generated. We will set the other parameters as it is, and we will click on OK. Now the strategy is live. Now if you see that there's already some orders taken on the historical bars. Now please remember, these orders are simulated orders and are generated on the historical bars only and are not actual trades. So if you look in the orders tab or trade tabs or the position tab, these are all empty. So what it means is these orders have been generated on the historical bar only and for visual purpose only. For example, this is our current session and this is the opening bar. Okay. Now this is also the day high. So we are calculating the high and the low till 10 AM. The 10 AM bar will be this. So up to this bar we will calculate the high and low. So high will be this and low will be this. Now the low got breached at this bar 10:20. Now these orders have been already generated on the historical bar. Now if we click on the strategy tab, we will see that the strategy is already short by 200 and the strategy is highlighted in pink. What it means is that there are trades on historical bars and no live orders will be submitted unless these synthetic orders are closed. So this is a synthetic position. So these position will have to close. Now another thing is, like, since we are already in a position and our strategy has placed an stop and a target order, so that is also not visible. If we check on the account, for example, now the account is enabled, however we cannot see the stop and the targets. Now please remember, in the strategy we have defined can user modify orders to true. So any stop and order that is live stop and order should be visible. But since these are synthetic orders, this is not visible. So we will change, to test it, we will change the trend to up. So what it will happen is price will have an upward bias, so price will go up and it will hit the stop for entry 1, and then the position will become like short 100 since there is no stop for the second order. Now another concept is, as you can see, the strategy is displaying a position but the account position is nil. Now since it is simulated order, the strategy is highlighted in pink. Now what happened, have been the strategy been live? For example, let's say I will discuss the concept of the strategy account, strategy position and account position. Let's say you have two strategies running on the same instrument. Strategy A, let's say, which is long with 100 shares, and strategy B, which is short with 50 shares. So 150 means your account position will display 50 long. But however, the strategy position will display the respective strategy as taken by the strategies. So this is also an important concept. Okay, now we have the trades taken out. The stop got triggered out here. However, see, since this is a synthetic order, no actual trades takes place. The strategy is still highlighted in pink. This and the position is short 100. So this pink displayed that the strategy needs to go flat before the actual live orders get placed. So if you look at the logs also, see, this is the stop, okay, and the target got cancelled. This is the cancel target order. Okay, I will just clear this data for better ye. Now when the price will bridge the high, what will happen is the enter long, that code will trigger. What the enter that will do is like it will first close the existing position, which is like this entry 2, short entry 2. So 100 shares it will first close, and then a couple of long order will be generated, and those long orders will be live orders. So we just change the trend again to up. So let's see what happens. Okay, we are near. Okay, now this strategy got closed.
Teams motor.
Okay, and we are long out here. So what happened is, like, if we will change the trend out here. Okay, so what happened is, like, strategy, so we close the position which is like 100 short. Okay, now this is also historical order. This doesn't exist. Now enter long. Two orders have been submitted and the same has been filled out here, and the stop and the target has been placed. If we look into the order tab, we will see entry 1, entry 2, and the stop order out here, and the target. This is for entry 1. Okay, so this entry 2 is lying naked, and if we click on the trades tab, we will see buy, and the strategy is no longer highlighted in pink. This denotes that all the orders from now on will be live orders to your account, and we look into the position tab, it will be long 200. So previously, when the strategy was highlighted in pink, all the orders were simulated orders, synthetic orders. This is no longer the case. Now we will just go ahead and change the trend to up. So we will go ahead and fill the orders. Now another important point to remember is what happened if you get disconnect, or let's say an order get rejected, let's say insufficient margin or whatever. So we have a bunch of settings for that, which you can configure how the strategy will behave. I will just show it once the order is taken out. So once this target is taken out, the stop will be automatically get cancelled. Now please remember, this OCO simulation, the one cancel other simulation, is simulated locally by ArthaChitra. So the strategy must run. So you cannot close ArthaChitra.
Sold Teams motor.
Okay, Now
Sell order for Thieves Motor cancelled.
this got failed, this got cancelled. So if you go to the trade tabs, you will see sell 100. Go to the strategy long 100. So this, there is no stop and target for these. Now if the strategy breaches the low again, then this position will get closed. That will be a real order, and we will go short again. This, not this low, this low has to be breached. This low has to be breached, and then we will go short again. And if we do not get short, let's say price remains in the upward bias, so the strategy defines that all position must exit. The strategy will close the position at 3 p.m. That is as defined by the strategy. Okay. Now about the settings, you can configure the connection loss settings, etc. from setting options and strategies. Now what will happen when, if you have a connection loss? Will it disable the strategy, or the strategy goes on running? Now what happens if you have an order rejection, for example? Will it ignore it, or will it disable the strategy? No, in such scenario, what happens to the pending orders? What happens to the existing position? So you can configure all this from this basically. So our help guide does illustrate it in details. So please go to it and read everything basically. So that's it for now. Thank you for your time.